Save. That's a goal! Yes, scores! Well, that is a brilliant effort.
Hello and welcome back to VV Stru, our home for the last week as the 2024 Kentish Cup has been played out. I'm Kath Brazier and BFBS are again delighted to be bringing you live coverage of the final game here with the UK Armed Forces facing their Dutch hosts. What a game UKAF had on Wednesday when they secured a 1-0 victory over the French.
Here's Robin again, takes the challenge, shoots, and the ball hits the upright. Well, that's a real chance for the French then. It's a real scrabble in midfield there. Hefty challenges going in. Referee says play on. Oh, and I don't think that was a very good challenge from Danny Kerr there. Great work. It's going to be a goal. It is. UKAF have the lead.
Now, after that performance, UK Armed Forces have every right to feel confident. The Dutch, on the other hand, suffered a 5-0 defeat at the hands of the French on Monday. We spoke to both camps earlier about their approach to this game.
Well, I'm with Corporal Darryl White then, who is the head coach, obviously, of the UKAF team. Darryl, it's your swan song today, and of course you'd like nothing better than to go out with a victory and bring that Kentish Cup home.
Yeah, again, obviously what an opportunity we've got today to actually go and, retain it again. So, yeah, really excited. Boys look really, really focused. Again, it's now just concentrating on the football and, yeah, we'll see what happens.
I suppose it's easy to get carried away with the result on Wednesday. It was a terrific performance, and you must have been so proud of everybody, because there was nothing left on the pitch at the end of the 90 minutes against the French, and you got the 1-0 win, but the job's only half done.
Yeah, that's it. We told them, enjoy that moment of winning, because again, it's hard to come by, but again, straight on about the Dutch now and really focusing on that and hopefully getting the result today.
Obviously, on in terms of the team, you're sticking with that same starting 11, tried and trusted, same format.
Yeah, exactly the same. Again, we've got our way of playing. We'll be focused, and also we've got 5, 6, 7 subs that are really good to come on and really fresh. So again, hope that will inject more energy in the second half as well, which we're looking to do.
Of course, you'll be well aware that the French annihilated the Dutch team 5-0 in that first game. It might be rather a different kettle of fish today, though, because the Dutch will be anxious, not to fall to that level again.
Yeah, that's it. Like, you can look back 5 years ago when the Dutch lost to the French 5-0. We then beat the French 4-1, and then actually we only beat the Dutch 2-1. It was a hard game. So, we take nothing for granted. These are the best players for their nation. So, again, everyone can have a bad day, and that's all we saw it as.
A lot of pride at stake, of course. But just finally, what would it mean to everybody to go through another Kentish Cup campaign and come away with that trophy?
Yeah, it means everything to the group, to us. We've been really successful over the years, and we want to continue that. So yeah, we're really excited, looking forward to it, and hopefully we get the job done.
Good stuff. Congratulations, and keep it going. Well done, Daryl.
Cheers. Thank you. Cheers.
Well, Christian Bachhausen, the coach of the manager of the Dutch team here. Christian, we spoke at half-time actually on Wednesday, obviously about the challenge maybe that your boys would face against whoever won today, that day, and of course it was UKAF who came out on top 1-0. I think you predicted a draw, but
yeah.
It was a very close game, wasn't it? What did you take out of that game to give to your players ahead of today's match?
Now, what we saw was that the French were getting tired, so maybe the UKAF team will get tired after the first half. You never know. But we have to give everything we got to make a good result, and that's what we have got to do.
You know that all the French team, of course, will be cheering for you today, because if you were to beat UKAF today, then the French would win the championship, unless you win by 6 goals.
Yeah, that's going to be rather difficult, but last year we did our best against the French last game, and that's why the UKAF won, because of the good result we made. So we have to try to do it again, to do our best.
You've had to make a couple of changes. You brought a couple of new players in. How is that going to improve and strengthen your team?
Young players, enthusiastic players, some 2 players for the first time. They will try to show themselves. So I hope that will give us the right energy to make a good result.
You know that it's going to be a tough one, obviously, for your players today. Are they well up for it? Against a British team, obviously, who had that great result for them on Wednesday.
Yeah, they have to do the best. They know that the UKAF want to win. The general is coming, so they want to do the best they can. We want to make a better result than on Monday. We have to be a little bit ashamed of Monday, but it gives us a second chance to show our best.
Well, we look forward to a good game, and all the very best to you and the team, Christian. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jan. Thank you.
It's been a great week of football here in the Netherlands, and the Kentish Cup has again lived up to all expectations. Now, to take you through the final game is John Knighton on commentary.
So it all comes down to this then, 90 minutes for UKAF to at least draw against their Dutch opponents, and they'll retain the Kentish Cup for another 12 months. Well, you can't praise the UKAF team highly enough for their amazing performance, really beating a very talented French team here on Wednesday. Danny Kerr again, the man for all seasons, as he scored that crucial goal, but it was a great team performance all over the pitch, and that's why the head coach, obviously Daryl White, is sticking with the same starting 11 that did so well on Wednesday. We'll come to those in a moment. As you can see in the tunnel, the players just waiting now to come out onto the pitch here. This Kentish Cup, of course, is a remarkable old competition, began by Brigadier R.J. Kentish, CM and CMG DSO back in 1921 when he presented the trophy. It was then a 3-way competition between the French, the Belgians and the UK until 1986, when the French decided to withdraw from the competition and the Netherlands forces took over. Belgium withdrew in 2015, and then the French came back into the tournament, and that is where we are at this very moment. So that's really how the competition has developed. And over the years, the last few years, this competition really has been very much in the hands of UK Armed Forces. In fact, if they win today, they will go 9 years without having lost in this competition. Now, of course, the French won the trophy back in 2022, but that was on goal difference. It was a draw between the two teams and the French had won by more goals against the Dutch in Portsmouth that occasion, which meant they took the trophy home. But UKAF had 4 straight victories. Then we had, of course, the COVID break, which meant this competition didn't take place for a couple of years. UK Armed Forces won it back again last year, and they are hoping, of course, to retain that trophy again. Standing by very shortly for the national anthems for both teams. It'll be starting with Great Britain, of course, for the UK national anthem for God Save the King, as they are the visiting team. Then, of course, we will have the national anthem for the Dutch team. I'll run through the two teams as soon as we have had the national anthems. Today we've got Brigadier Lee Drummond here, the chairman of UKAF Football. He's come out to support the teams, and in fact he is being presented now, I think, to the two teams out on the pitch. And the senior officer for the Dutch forces today is Lieutenant Colonel Jan Mara, who is the head of Dutch military sport. So it's been very well supported here today, and obviously with the Dutch forces team playing here as well, there's a bit of support in the ground here. This lovely little stadium here in Stro for VV Stro, who have been hosting us superbly over the last few days here in Holland, and in fact the trophy will be presented at the end of the game here on the pitch, so a lot to play for. Time then for the national anthems.
King.
So national anthems then completed. The officials are standing by, led by referee Corentin Cowhard, who is sergeant in the French military police, as they all get introduced to each other. Let's run through the teams, shall we, starting with UKAF. And not surprisingly that Darryl White has named an unchanged starting lineup from that team which beat the French here on Wednesday. At the back, obviously, terrific back line they have there with Brodie Gray, Phil Bright, Mark Drysdale, Jack Wright as well. So solid at the back. Really let very little through at all, particularly in the second half against the French, and goals all over the pitch. And I just wonder whether we're going to see maybe Greg Peel getting his self on the score sheet today, and his incredible work really created the goal for them to beat the French on Wednesday. But lots of talent there, and of course Danny Kerr leading there with players like Joe Spalding and Dave Vincent as well. A real chance for them today. Elliot Holmes, of course, is a regular goal scorer for the Royal Navy and for UKAF. As far as the Dutch are concerned, well, they've had to make a couple of changes. Coach Royce Belcom has brought in a new goalkeeper today, Bjorn Lansink, who actually was on the bench on Monday against the French. He gets his starting place in the team today, and a couple of newcomers coming in as well to their starting lineup as well. At number 7, Dirk Jan Hedstrom, and also Rick Gau is coming in at number 8. But I suspect there's going to be a few other changes as well as far as that Dutch team is concerned as we continue throughout the day. We'll see how things develop there with the Dutch team. They, of course, absolutely desperate to improve on the 5-0 hammering that they suffered at the hands of the French on Monday. And Kath, who's now joined me up on commentary, I suppose there's nothing worse than a wounded animal, is there, when it comes to a football game? And the Dutch were certainly wounded by what happened on Monday.
Yeah, and actually in this context, I've been talking about a wounded soldier, a wounded, team of soldiers and Air Force and probably, Navy personnel from the Dutch Armed Forces. But yes, it's definitely a case of beware of someone, and they've also had 3 days where they've, had a bit of more intensive training. They've been able to watch both sides play. They've been chatting a lot about it, which, can work in their favour as well. And I've just noticed actually, John, the goalkeeper for the Dutch is wearing the number 1 shirt, so I'm wondering whether they've made another change already and Tin Crack has come in as goalkeeper and Bjorn Lansink, but whether or not they just changed shirts, I'm really sorry.
I think we'll stick with Lansink, because I know, speaking to Christian Bauschhausen before, he said there was definitely a change at goalkeeper, so they've obviously changed the numbers around. But it's UKAF who get us underway then in this crucial match, which could bring the Kentish Cup back home to the United Kingdom once again. This famous old trophy, remember, the oldest trophy in European football, recognised by UEFA, and well, it'll be amazing for the British team. There's so many of the British lads maybe making their last appearances today, and it's certainly a swan song for Darryl White, the head coach. This is his last game in charge, and I know a lot of people are really hoping that they can bring it home for him. Been such a wonderful dynasty over the last few years for UKAF football. They've really taken this game and this tournament to heart, and immediately they're into the game, out onto this right-hand side with the left-hand side with Brodie Gray on the ball, looking for a bit of support then from Holmes. Holmes takes the 1-2 from Ayet, immediately trying to put the Dutch under a bit of pressure here. Just seeing how they stand up, and straight away Peel has a chance, and he has hit the post. Well, would you believe I did mention that I thought that Greg Peel might have a chance of getting on the score sheet today. He couldn't get much closer than that, Kath.
Well, do you know what? His legs are so long, but even that was slightly too much in front of him to get a clean shot on goal. And it just glanced the post, but it beat the goalkeeper. So good early signs from UKAF.
Well, a real slip up at the back there by the Dutch defence as well. And I'm sure that the Dutch bench have got their head in their hands already. The last thing they need, for their point of view, is to concede early on in this game. But it was a real chance for UKAF to stake their claim early on. Looking very solid as well already, as Drysdale tries to clear his line. Nice little touch too there with Holmes. Danny Kerr getting involved there with Dave Vincent. Ball goes out wide onto the left-hand side. UKAF now once again pressing, looking for an early goal here. Bright playing it inside, and that's back to Vincent again. He's taken it just wide. Has it gone out of play? Linesman on this far side. That's Richard Peters from the Netherlands. He, of course, refereed the game on Wednesday when UKAF played the French.
Came over to say thank you for the comments, John, so we're not in trouble with the wing commander. That's good. That is good news. It really is. It's always good to have a senior officer on your side. Peel going in for the challenge there. Danny Kerr heads it back into play.
Nice work straight away from UKAF. Here's Peel again. Great. He'll win the throw-in for UKAF.
It's good energy from the Dutch. I have to say they're on every ball, and they're trying. They're reading passes very well. And I just hope that this energy lasts for the full 90 minutes, which didn't happen on Monday.
Well, exactly. I mean, there was a talk that maybe UKAF might be a bit tired because obviously the Dutch have had a few days to have a break, but so much will depend really on how UKAF start this game. And that's lovely play then from Dave Vincent. Great, looking for Peel on the edge of the box. Referee says play on.
Peel is appealing, but to no avail.
Here come the Dutch then, looking for a bit of a break for them. Vincent Heike going out for the ball. Referee says that was an unfair challenge, so very quickly UKAF get back on the offensive here. Phil Bright on that left-hand side. It's a familiar style, isn't it, for UKAF? Breaking quickly. Here's Peel again, involved already in this match. Just looking for support on the left-hand side, but only finds a Dutch player.
We didn't talk much about Brodie Gray in Wednesday's match, John, but it just occurs to me watching him play again, he's such a crucial link, isn't he? Well, at both ends, but really covers ground for a man fairly short in stature.
He does a massive amount of ground, both at the back as well as going forward.
Exactly.
He was the last line of defence the other day. But here come the Dutch then. A speculative effort then from their number 9, Vincent Hoekestra. And any of you Dutch fans who are watching, my apologies for pronunciations today. I know that we've got Eddie is watching. Let's go Holland, he says. Good luck, Vincent. So
I think that might be Vincent Hoekstra.
I think you could be right. Maybe your Dutch is better than mine.
Well, we've got various Dutch members standing next to us, so I'm sure they will correct us if we're wrong.
I'm sure they will. But let's focus on UKAF then. They have the throw-in. Quickly taken by Brodie Gray. And here's a man who never stopped running on Wednesday. That's Aaron Ayat, of course. Had a terrific game. A real powerhouse in midfield. The sort of player that every team needs.
Carl Milgate on Facebook says, let's go, all the best one and all. Of course, Carl, good shout out to you. Head coach of the women's UKAF team, and Sam Atkinson, a previous player as well. He says all the best UKAF, so good to hear from you, Sam.
Gray puts the cross in, and Danny Kerr chasing it, and he'll keep it in play. But there is an injury to one of the Dutch players. The referee has called it back. Yeah, the man who's gone down is the man wearing number 25, which it says on my team sheet is Bjorn Lansing, but that's not quite right.
I think it's Bob Leemans.
Bob Leemans, well, he's wearing 25, yeah. But he is up on his feet, which is good.
I've got the inside track on Bob. He dropped a weight on his head a while back, and he's got a massive scar on his forehead. Looks really hardcore. Yeah, dropped a dumbbell. So made a miraculous recovery, but it didn't look very nice at the time. But I guess these footballers, need to keep their strength up. And unfortunately on this occasion, Bob caught one on the forehead. UKAF then working it from the back, and they've done so well the last few campaigns here at the Kentish Cup.
Here's Aaron Ayat. Plays it wide then, out to right. Long ball down the pitch. And it's brilliantly kept in play by Joe Spalding. The Dutch have it back though. Dutch trying to break forward, but it's the possession rate is so much higher for UKAF at the moment. They'll be very keen to turn that into goals. Very nearly got a goal in the first moments of this game. Unlucky for Greg Peel to see his shot skimming the post. But the Dutch have tightened things up in the last few minutes. and looking much better, much stronger. Now, there's a bit of a challenge going on here. Safely back into the hands, though, of Los McCormick, and I must make sure I pronounce his name correctly today. Good afternoon to all the McCormick family who are no doubt watching. Los, 38 years young and still going strong, and great to see him in the lineup today. Another injury goes down to the Dutch. Sam Atkinson saying all the best to UKAF, and Dick Louty, come on boys, let's bring it home. Tony Frank, let's go boys, and Tom Clace, all the very best to UKAF. Good to hear from Tom, isn't it, Kath?
Yeah, well, Tom Clace, you've got there. Dick Lawsey, obviously ex-goalkeeping coach, and Sam Atkinson, a former player for UKAF as well. So really good to see the old, I say old boys, I'm not calling you old boys, but ones who have formerly played for the team. Of course, Clace captained UKAF for quite a few years and was very successful.
Yeah, he was, and well, the agenda was set many years ago, of course, and kept going. It's great to see actually at half-time during the game on Wednesday. It's some of the players' highlights, some of their favourite moments from these previous Kentish Cup games. I remember a fantastic day out in Germany when UKAF went over and beat the Bundeswehr on German soil, and that was a historic day for British Forces football.
Yeah, forever trying to push the boundaries, I suppose. The game this year against the Irish Defence Forces was obviously held in Belfast, and that's something that Darryl White's been pushing for years, just to sort of make it different and you get themselves out there on the map.
Here's Brodie Gray. Safety first then for Dave Vincent, back to his dependable back line. As Wright goes forward now into enemy territory. Nice ball out. Can Phil Bright get on the end of it in time? Gets the cross in. Didn't really have much time to make that cross, but it will come back to him. It'll come back to UKAF again. Dutch, though, successfully clearing their lines this time. And in fact, they do win a free kick over on that right-hand side. 10 minutes played here. And it's still 0-0 between UKAF and the Dutch Armed Forces. They already look a more solid unit, Kath, than they did on Monday.
Bring it home, boys, and thank you for that.
Gray making good ground into the box. I said that Dave Vincent has been everywhere so far. He's really putting himself out on that pitch. Goalkeeper being challenged by Greg Peel.
I really like the pressure they're putting on the goalkeeper. It just shows a really strong intent, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Keep that pressure up for 90 minutes.
The Dutch are holding the ball well there. They're doing pretty well so far. That's Velreds, who's the captain, wearing the armband, wearing number 3. And that is going to run out of play. No, it isn't. It comes into the box. McCormack has to go for it. Does well. Grabs it again at the second opportunity. So the Dutch then just showing what they can do. That was a really well worked move there down that right hand side.
Apologies if you experienced any technical issues a while back, a minute or so ago. We are now back on, I believe, and I'm afraid you still got another 70 minutes of John and I on commentary. I speak for myself, obviously, John.
We're doing our very best, Kath. We do our best. Here's the skipper. Nice ball out to Holmes and Bright. Back to Vincent. Dutch collect it, pick it up. Van Boxall looking to try and put Bulk clear, but it's back with UKAF here. And here's Joe Spalding, takes the 1-2. Bit of quality needed.
Ball in. Ooh.
It's nicely crossed, and that was a dangerous one. There was a...
Yeah, Elliot Holmes nearly squeezed his way through 2 Dutch defenders there on the end of Spalding's ball, but just a sign of what's to come, I'm sure, from UKAF.
Yeah, Dutch holding their own so far, as you say. They may be expecting UKAF to tire a bit in the second half, but can't really see that happening myself. Not when there's so much to play for. Aaron Ayats then has the ball. And as Darryl White said, he's got plenty to choose from on the bench should he need to. Remember, a draw will be enough to make UKAF take this famous old trophy home. Vincent back inside to Holmes.
Ooh.
Shot comes in on target from, of course, that man, Danny Kerr.
Well, definitely had a few chances. It feels like they're warming up to something, UKAF.
Drysdale just touches it back to his goalkeeper. And once again. It's a Dutch player who seems to have come off worse, Jimmy Haas. He'll probably need a bit of treatment.
I mean, I know they're well warmed up before they come on, John, but playing in these temperatures, you know, I suppose they are warm whilst they're playing, but do you think that has an effect on any niggles that they have?
Yeah, possibly, and it depends how well prepared they've been and how well they've warmed up. I mean, they were out on the pitch for a good 25 minutes, weren't they, before the game kicked off. So, you know, I think that is probably enough for them. So Aaron Ayat then with a free kick. Floated in, headed clear by Dutch defence, but pressure not over yet. Drysdale gets a low one in. Here's Phil Bright in a central position.
Oh, just unfortunately, Elliot Holmes got a little bit in the way there, but UKAF still with possession.
Gray, and here's Ayat. That'll be safely into the hands of the goalkeeper, I think. Just a bit too much for Elliot Holmes to chase. Bjorn Lamsink, the goalkeeper today, so the replacement for the Dutch side. Good little crowd has turned up here to watch this game today. And here's Van Boxall
Oh, great ball forward.
Nice ball forward. The Dutch have a chance. Oh, and it's skied. What an opportunity. A corner bulk there. Well, he will be kicking himself because maybe he just picked the wrong foot. I don't know. It just seemed to fall
They had a
very
similar
nicely.
situation in the game on Monday where they had one-on-one with the goalkeeper and they did exactly the same. So maybe it was just a rush of blood to the head, but really, really, really good chance there missed by the Dutch forces.
Well, a gilt-edged chance, you would say, and a bit of a warning there for UKAF, I think. And Van Bilk there.
I mean, Cormac couldn't have done anything other than what he did, but
No.
I bet he was glad to see it go a few metres clear of the crossbar.
Well, a bit of a let-off then for UKAF. It remains 0-0. UKAF, of course, hit the post in that first minute of the game. But they drive forward now, trying to get themselves on the offensive once more. The Dutch, though, with a bit more confidence, launch their way in. Drysdale makes the challenge, and that will stay in play. Goalkeeper off his line. UKAF just need to tidy things up a bit at the back here. Oh, that was a really good challenge, brilliant challenge from Peel to take the pressure off. And now, can UKAF launch something on the attack, on the break? But
just a bit too much there on for Joe Spalding to get here on the right wing.
yeah, Drysdale just slightly over-hitting it.
Oh, great defence.
But there were quite a few cheers going up from the French team, of course, who are here watching today, because they know that a victory for the Dutch by anything under 6 goals will mean that the French would win the Kentish Cup. So UKAF have got to be pretty careful. I think both, all the teams are always going to get chances, so we mustn't just expect it to be one-way traffic.
Absolutely. But you would argue that the Dutch have had the best of the chances so far.
Well, apart from the one that hit the post, yeah, I'd agree with you.
Yes, granted.
Yeah.
But that wasn't probably as simple as maybe the Dutch chance. Although one-on-ones always look more simple than they actually are.
Big Spurs fan, of course, Phil Bright would have no doubt been watching Tottenham getting that 1-1 draw against Rangers last night in the Europa League. My word, that was a bit of a great game to watch. Great Battle of Britain last night.
Wasn't a lot of support for Tottenham in our house, I don't think, though, John. I can tell Brighty that.
You'll never speak to us again.
We're UKAF fans. Doesn't matter who else you support.
They've all got their teams. Peel, great turn. Look at that. Look how he holds off. He's so strong. And he's still got the ball. And he puts the cross over.
Trying to find Kerr again.
For Danny Kerr, yeah.
Double marked he was. And they know who they're marking.
The Dutch certainly do. And they just recover their composure. Get that ball cleared. The referee has said that was a bit of a shove there by Jack Wright.
Conor de Lessu is supporting Rick Gow, who plays for the Dutch team, and he's playing number 8 today. So great to have some Dutch support as well, John, on the live stream.
It is, yeah. And no doubt there'll be a few people just watching in France as well, just keeping an eye on things.
Yeah, Edwin Gow's also commented for Rick, and Owen Fikensha just said Holland in capitals, so pretty obvious who they're supporting.
So then a free kick then to the Dutch Armed Forces here. 0-0 the score, 21 minutes played, nearly halfway through this first half. Brodie Gray will clear up, make sure it doesn't go out of play for a throw. And that's a good long ball forward, just aiming there for Elliot Holmes. Nice composed play from UKAF, and here's Jack Wright again.
Jack Wright had a bit of an incident this morning. He thought he'd lost his lucky pants, John, but thankfully he's got them back.
Well, I'm sure everyone is totally relieved to hear that.
Could have been an entirely different game if you couldn't find them. I'm just glad.
Well, we don't, maybe too much information. But don't really want to know that
Well, I like to bring these little tips.
Well, it's much appreciated, but hopefully that they do get regularly washed. That's all I can say.
As long as he may not have washed them from the French game because they won that. So, in my mind, you don't want to wash your lucky pants when you've had a win in them.
A lot of space for the Dutch, but they do give it away. And now, Brodie Gray. And here's Spalding. Fair challenge, says the referee. Dutch bring it clear. Elliot Holmes.
Some lovely footwork on display in the midfield there.
This pitch is not the easiest to play on, by the way. It's a 4G, 3G, but it's a lot going for it. But nice work from Peel.
Oh, Ayat.
And Ayat then with a shot. Now, if he'd been on target, that could have been...
that would have been a screamer, John.
Yeah, I can't use that word. I've already used it once. not in the Kentish Cup context, but
that's okay. I'll take that one.
Very good afternoon to Nick DeLong, who is watching. Nick, good to have you with us today. The man really who started this dynasty of UKAF football back in the 20-teens. With
Around
that
2014, I think.
Yeah, 4 years unbeaten in this competition. And there's so much of the plans really that Nick laid down, which are still the principles that this team focuses on today, and it's still bearing fruit.
I always imagine there might be a surprise appearance by DeLong. Ding Dong, as he's affectionately known, but
I haven't seen him in the stands here.
He's yet to appear.
Jack Wright finds his goalkeeper, and McCormick with a good clearance. Nicely nodded on by Danny Kerr there, but only to the Dutch defence. Out of play it goes. 25 minutes gone. It remains 0-0 in this deciding fixture in the 2024 Kentish Cup. Both teams have had chances. And it's an even, I would say it's a pretty even contest so far. UKAF probably had the bulk of the possession and look dangerous when they're going forward, but the Dutch have had their moments. And once more they have the ball. That's Leemans. Out to Veldred. He aims it long onto this left-hand side. It's nicely collected, but I think there's an offside there. Hugh Marfell raises his flag. So again, UKAF doing what they did against the French, playing a pretty high line here, which has served them well in the competition so far. Jack Wright, what an inspirational player he's been since he joined the squad last year. Came from Navy under 23. Almost see him as a future captain at some stage, I think, of this UKAF team.
Vincent. Yeah. Not to Holmes, but Bright picks it up.
Yeah. Elliot Holmes then. I suspect we might get a goal from him today. Just don't.
Oh, you nearly,
My
well,
prediction.
not jinx that, yeah, you nearly got that one straight away. Holmes, ever present when there's a goal coming.
Bulk.
Oh,
Nice ball forward, but goalkeeper will get there first. And that's a really good bit of distribution here. Finds Danny Kerr, beats one player. Lays it forward then. And,
one word I used for the Dutch on Monday, John, was clunky. They look so much cleaner today, so much more finesse on their play as well. I don't know whether that's just been a change of personnel, but they definitely look much cleaner today.
bit of togetherness, I think, as well. They've been together as a squad, obviously, for those extra days. Spalding. Opportunity here. Ayat just eyeing it up. Plays it out to Spalding again. Good cross.
Great Peel.
And here's a Peel on the end of it. He just laid it on, tried to lay it on a plate for one of his teammates. Still the ball well in play for UKAF here, and they win the second corner of the game.
Oh, corner's coming
Thick and fast.
thick and fast.
Not
yes.
quite thick and fast, but certainly
More than we had the other day.
yeah. But what really matters is what happens in terms of the score.
Absolutely. So Ayat heading to the corner to take this one. As the two-fingered bullfrog puts 3 Union Jacks or Union flags on YouTube, so I think I know who they're supporting.
Ayat then with the corner. And in at the far, I think it had gone out of play, hadn't it, straight away? But there were 3 UKAF players going in for it there. Haven't made so much of their set pieces yet. Had a couple of free kicks and a couple of corners, but so far they've come to nothing.
Well, this will be the sort of thing that the Dutch, UKAF, the French forces, we've seen that the French have brought their camera today. So everyone's keen for that analysis footage for the next time they play. And the Dutch will probably have looked, as the French did, at UKAF set pieces on games previous and worked on how to defend them.
I know the French spent a lot of time doing some work on Jake Gosling.
Still not turned up.
And Jake's still not here. Wherever you are, Jake, I know you're busy on training at the moment, so but I'm hoping that you're watching. I know you'll be cheering the boys on from wherever you are today.
Yeah, the same goes for Jake Walker as well, who wasn't available. He's on an aircraft carrier, and Luke Breen as well, who was also unavailable for selection. So big shout out to those guys left at home.
Yeah. Boxall, Van Boxall. Nice ball forward. It's being chased by Hustra. And McCormick clears his lines well. Open game so far, this. So chances at both ends. So Darryl Weiss is just wanting his team to be a little bit more precise in this final third of the field. That's a lovely ball through by Brodie Gray.
Oh, Vincent.
Great work from Vincent. Edge of the box. Here's Ayat.
Oh. Off the Dutch backside.
Danny Kerr just trying to win that ball back, but really good play then from Vincent Hoekstra for the Dutch. Coming back to help his defence, but the pressure is maintained by UKAF. And here's Phil Vincent. Or rather, did I say Phil Vincent? It's Dave Vincent, isn't it?
Dave Vincent, it's not Dale Vincent, so let's be careful with that one.
Here's Greg Peel, offside, goes up. Phil Vincent, I'm sorry I get confused, and I know that Phil...
Is he some rock star from
No, he's
the
an
40s?
old teacher of mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, an old teacher of mine. He taught Latin, which I'm never very good at.
Well, Phil, if you're still around...
I don't think Mr. Vincent is with us anymore, but...
don't worry, he lives on in Dave Vincent.
He does. Dave, Phil, Dale, you know. They're all great names.
Oh,
but, so we must get
Makes
Dave
me
right.
chuckle.
I blame it on the cold, Kath.
Well, you're blaming a lot on the cold over the last few days, John.
That's a really great ball cross field, precise pass from the captain. Dutch then with a chance then, edge of the box. Ball goes across field, it's still in play. It was good work then from Gal, who's one of the newcomers who's come into this squad for this match. Brought in.
He's got a lot of support out there as well, John,
Yeah.
so that's good to see.
The Dutch are making it pretty difficult for UKAF in these stages of the game. Peel, great ball.
Oh, lovely
and that's
ball.
a fantastic ball through. Chance then for Joe Spalding. And he scores! That is a fantastic goal from Joe Spalding. But it was created once more by Greg Peel. That was an amazing pass through onto this right-hand side.
And that's really telling, John, because half the team have gone to Greg and half the team have gone to Joe, as it should be.
But brilliant finish, though,
brilliant.
from Joe Spalding.
Well, that was patience, you know. He eyed up the goalkeeper, knew exactly where he was going to go, and Spalding gets his name on the team sheet, on the score sheet again. Well done, Sleepy Joe.
Just over 30 minutes played, and what a crucial goal that could be for UKAF. They lead the Dutch forces by 1-0, and it was a break, wasn't it? It was the first time really they'd had a chance to break. The Dutch had just got into the game so much more.
You just said how much the Dutch were looking an improved side, but Joe Spalding's speed, it surprises me. I don't know why, but he absolutely had that one-on-one.
Oh, you can see on his face he's absolutely delighted, nodding his head, and It's a really great time for UKAF to score here just after the half-hour mark.
I think the gaffer's just saying to Joe, and again, Joe, and again. Keep going. You know, you haven't. Job's not over yet.
Well, Tony Frank says, get in there. Jamie Doig, come on, UKAF. Jamie Doig, who's a great supporter of us on Forces Sports here. And
oh, he says, thanks, John and Kath, for coverage. You're welcome, Doigster.
We aim to please. So here's Bright.
Our friend Darren Vinson's been on again. Says no comment. He loves it. He loves it.
He must be confused, actually. I don't know.
Well, he's now going to call him Phil. His son Phil and Dale.
Well, just giving you a few options, you know.
Poor Davey.
No, I know. Dutch aiming to hit straight back here. This is great work from there at number 9 from their striker.
Jack Wright covering.
Gets the shot in, and it takes the deflection. That was great work then from Vincent Hoekstra. And his name is Vincent.
Vincent Hoekstra.
Vincent Hoekstra gets the corner for the Dutch. Well, they do say that one of the most vulnerable times a team can concede a goal is when they've just scored. And the Dutch just showing there that they won't lie down lightly.
Yep.
Bob Leemans is going to take this corner, their first corner of the game.
Well, it's actually...
It's Peppenkamp actually with the corner, but the ball goes harmlessly out of play in the end. Yeah, it was Dylan Peppenkamp who took the corner wearing number 23 there. He's got plenty of experience in this Dutch side. Aaron Ayat finds Gray. Really nice play from UKAF. Here's the ball going now wide onto that left-hand side with Vincent gets the shot in. It's saved in the end. In fact, it was Elliot Holmes, wasn't it, who got the shot in there. And again, UKAF they're very good on the break here.
Yeah, a lot of people calling for focus. As you said, John, the danger time is after. You may just let yourself lie a bit after a goal. And so all UKAF supporters currently saying, focus, focus.
That's what's needed. Another clean sheet for UKAF here, and they know that the Kentish Cup is safely in their hands, but there's a lot of work to do just yet. Mark Drysdale hoosted up into the gathering gloom here.
How's my prediction from yesterday looking, John?
I can't remember your prediction from yesterday. Oh no, you said, yes, I know what you said. Well, you're a 7th of the way there, aren't you, at the moment? It's a very tight game, though, so far. 1-0 to UKAF, and that's what matters, of course. Eldreds just inviting a challenge to come to the ball. Be interesting to see how whether the Dutch change their tactics here. Obviously, having gone a goal down, are they going to try and push for this equaliser? They're going to try and work harder, or are they going to be just sort of carry on playing the way that we've seen so far?
I don't think they'll change too much. I think, as with Wednesday, they'll probably come on into the second half with the same team and then make changes when appropriate.
Here's Bulk chasing it, holds on to it, does well, gets to the byline. Eventually it is cleared, though. Good work from Mark Drysdale. Just picked his moment to clear that ball to save the corner.
There was talk, John, you know, given if UKAF got themselves into a really good position, perhaps giving some of the impact players, you know, a bit of a runner on, but that all depends on the game situation, of course, and it's too tight to call at the minute.
Yeah, we're too early into the match. And so Darryl White sticking with the 11 who started against the French. So far, it's paying dividends. They lead 1-0. Just joining us live here on Forces News YouTube and our Facebook page. And UKAF breaking once again on this left-hand side now with Elliot Holmes. Players charging forward. Holmes approaches the penalty area, takes the shot.
Ooh.
And that goes out of play into the field where reindeer were grazing a little bit earlier.
Well, of course, yes. Well, of course, it was Elliot Holmes who took the free kick on Wednesday, John. And wow. I mean, again, talking about screamers, that was nearly one of the best we've ever seen. And we could see how close it was. That one, not so much.
No, just a little bit off target. No grazing animals in the field there today.
We did see some deer yesterday, but they weren't reindeer, unfortunately.
Well, they're just preparing themselves at the moment.
Well, they just stick the horns on at some point.
They're having a bit of a break before the busy period. Veldredsen, the captain. He's actually just marshalling things at the back for the Dutch pretty well so far. Long ball forward, easy though for Drysdale. Nicely collected by Aaron Ayat, and that's great work from him, and he is fouled there.
He is called, yeah. Well, already taken by Vincent to Bright. As Ayat gets himself up off the floor, and Holmes in possession.
Elliot once more. Hull lad, of course. Although he doesn't support Hull City. I'm not surprised, he's not doing particularly well at the moment to the Tigers. Liverpool fan, I think. Throw on the far side then. What can the Dutch do to get themselves back into this? Nicely headed forward. Good challenge coming in. That's
lovely back foot there by Ayat.
Lovely work from Aaron Ayat. And Greg Peel. Lots of opportunity here. Ball flicked across the field and eventually cleared away by the Dutch.
That was very
wreaking havoc in that box.
It was very nearly a repeat of Wednesday's goal, because Danny Kerr was sitting there to be on the end of it. But
he set it on a plate for him, didn't he, really?
Yeah, but went straight across the goal in the end.
There's a good exchange of hands there between those two. What a combination they've been in the Kentish Cup this year. And it was almost 2-0 to UKAF. Instead, they have their third corner of this match. Which Aaron Ayat takes. Again, aim for that far post. Picked up once more. Vincent going in. The challenges. But the Dutch now with a real opportunity, but and the flag has not gone down. Chance for them to equalise, and they have got the equaliser. Well, the break from Milan van Boxall. There was a claim for offside there. They were looking for that offside flag, but it never came. And it's Van Boxall who has equalised for the Dutch to bring it back to 1-1.
UKAF just didn't have enough people back. I mean, they called for offside because they didn't have their players back. And the Dutch have done that a couple of times, John. They've put those really lovely balls forward, and this time they weren't called offside. And well, UKAF were caught, off the boil.
Well, they were playing that high line again, the high defensive line, and it's cost them. That's the problem with playing a high line. If you don't get it absolutely right. So the warning there, and the Dutch are back into this at 1-1. And that's made a real game of it. What will UKAF do now? There's Vincent again. Here's Peel, edge of the box. I think they're really worried about him. Nope. Referee says play on, not a foul. And once again, on the break. And this is a real chance for the Dutch again to go for it. And I have to say that Vincent Hoekstra is furious with himself there. That was another opportunity for the Dutch on the break. UKAF have just got to be really careful here.
But you know what? He saw McCormick coming at him, and I think didn't really have enough composure to get that in, but the Dutch looking dangerous at the moment.
I know that Don Frean, who's the fourth official, has just been spoken to by Darryl White there, claiming that was definitely a foul on Greg Peel,
yes.
which was not picked up by the referee. Decided to allow play to go on. So lots of little red triangles popping up at the moment for UKAF. It remains 1-1 here, and what an exciting first half we've had.
Well, you know what? This isn't a situation they've had to deal with in this competition so far, so, you know, just see it as a new challenge, and, you know, time now not for heads down and to keep the ball facing up.
Well, the Dutch have certainly got their tails up here. There's no doubt about that. They've worked their way back into the game, but here come UKAF. Peel on the end of it, and here's Danny Kerr, gets the shot in. Goalkeeper makes the save.
It was a lovely blind shot, given that he was facing the other direction, but not to be for UKAF.
Into the last minute of normal time in this first half. And this game certainly warming things up here for the crowd who have come along to enjoy today. The Dutch won, UKAF won.
So
Don't remember too many stoppages either, Kath. Just a couple of quick breaks that we've had. So I don't think we'll be seeing too much stoppage time at the end of this first half.
I think it's a fair reflection of play to go into the dressing room 1-1 at half-time, John.
Yeah.
Would you say?
I would say so. Yeah, the Dutch have certainly come into this, and they're not afraid to make those challenges either.
No.
They know that they can put pressure on. They've got 3 forward again. They're pushing people forward. And I just wondered how they might adapt their play, having gone behind. Well, I think we've seen the answer to that, is that they're not afraid, they're not bothered about coming back into this. And their management team will be delighted with how they have recovered.
And when you lose a game 5-0, you know, at home, when you're hosting an event, all they will have wanted to do today, I'm sure, was to get themselves on the score sheet, and they've done that.
Well, they might want even more.
Well, yes.
It's up to UKAF now just to sort of hold their line. Great work from Danny Kerr. Plays the ball then wide onto this right-hand side for Joe Spalding, who scored that opening goal for UKAF. Spalding driving it to the far side. Elliot Holmes on the end of it, takes the shots, and it goes wide. And that is the last action of the first half. Well, great excitement, Kath.
It is, and do you know what? I know it's only half-time and it's 1-1, and I know that with a draw, UKAF will still be able to retain their Kentish Cup, but they will not want that. They will want, I know what this team are like, they will want to win outright to get that Kentish Cup back, so they need to do something more in the second half. It'll be interesting to see if they make any changes at half-time. I don't think they will. I think they'll give it 10 or 20 minutes back on before they make any changes, but yeah, interesting times at half-time.
I think it'll be an interesting half-time team talk from Darryl White here, just to make sure that the players are absolutely up for it and well for it in the second half, which of course they will be. And the question of fitness as well will come into this in the second half. As you pointed out in the first game, the Dutch played really well in that first half against the French, but it all fell apart for them in the second, possibly due to fatigue. But we will see, won't we? Half-time here in Holland. It's 1-1 between the UK Armed Forces and the Dutch Armed Forces. Join us again very, very shortly for the second half. Oh, what a screamer! That is an astonishing goal. The header goes in, and it's in the back of the net, and it's finally gone in for UKAF.
So my greatest and favourite is probably the Irish trip that we've just had in Northern Ireland. Again, politically, where it was at, people were telling us it wasn't possible. To then, for the lads to put on a performance like they did, they're outstanding on the night.
Number 8 for UK Armed Forces forward ball. Into the footwork of Peel. Ah, and then he's in! Lovely goal. Goal from UKAF.
Politically as well, you'll see that in the future of what the lads have achieved. So again, yeah, I would see that as our probably greatest moment together.
I'd have to go all the way back to 2018. Germany away, was new into the UKAF setup. Ding Dong, Stefan and Ginge brought me in. Obviously going away into the Lions Den, winning 2-0. Not to mention I scored that game. It's one of my few goals in my career. But yeah, it's a great memory. Just an experience to go over there and to win 2-0 but defend sort of hearts like lions, and yeah, it was a really good experience.
My favourite UKAF memory from a personal point of view would definitely be captaining the side when we played Bundeswehr away earlier this year, back in June. From a collective point of view, it would definitely be winning my first Kentish Cup as part of the squad last year in France.
From a personal point of view, I'd have to say my first competitive international fixture, which was the Irish last year, scoring a goal, winning 4-1, winning so comfortably.
Here's Powell, gets the cross in. Goalkeeper's on top of it.
Finish.
And it's in
Yes!
the back of the net! Oh, that's an equaliser, and guess who's got it? Jack Wright. Well, he's absolutely thrilled with that.
That from a personal point of view, but from a team point of view, the Kentish last year, which is what it's all about. It was a great team, great lads, and a great win as well, away from home. I was saying this to a few of the lads in the warm-up against the Irish away a couple of weeks ago. Like, it's a different feeling when you put on the shirt. You can't explain it, no matter who you play for, CV, what level. We all play different levels, different steps, whatever. When you come into the UKAF team, everyone seems to up the game.
It's the pinnacle of my career, and to having that experience of being a captain in Belfast, like my home game, just recently, it's a massive, massive honour for me, and it's memories I'll cherish forever. Favourite all-time player would have to be George Best, absolute legend of the game in Northern Ireland.
My favourite all-time player is Johan Cruyff because he's the founder of the Dutch football.
The best player in the Zinedine Zidane because best French player.
Favourite English player, football player would be Gaza.
So my favorite player is Thierry Henry. He was playing for Arsenal. He was quick, amazing, good scorer.
Evan van der Sar, simply because he's an absolute legend, Man United, and played until he's nearly 40.
My favourite all-time player is Arjen Robben because he can score a lot of goals.
My favourite player is Derek Kuyt because he gives everything in the game, every game.
My favourite all-time player is Gareth Bale.
My favourite all-time player is Ian Wright.
And my favourite player is Zinedine Zidane because he's a magician with the ball.
Smart
That's
ball.
a great ball.
Can Walker get there? He can. The keeper kind of stuck in no man's land for a second. The ball from the back post. Holmes.
And it's a goal! 2-1, Navy!
Elliot Holmes with the moment.
This is great work as well. Shot
shot
comes
up.
in, and it's in!
What
What a
a
goal!
finish that is, by the
Oh, what
way.
a magnificent goal!
Wow.
And it's George Cross. Well, that was sensational. Cubs then with the corner comes in.
Oh, flashed right across. Oh.
Ball flashing across the ball, and it's in the net. And the Navy have got it. They've got the goal.
That's looking for Bright, who has made that extra effort. He's got Campbell in the penalty area. He's looked towards him. It's Michael Campbell.
Oh, it's 3-2.
And the RAF bench goes wild. He loves it in Aldershot, absolutely loves it. A hat-trick 2 years ago, well, he's at the double now. And the RAF have completed the turnaround, a performance, a comeback of champions.
Oh, Pip Wilson from a massive distance.
It's a great shot.
What a goal!
What a goal!
Oh my God!
And that
You
was
see
Vivek
that?
Gurung.
That was Vivek Gurung.
Vivek Gurung has
Oh
got
my
the
God!
goal.
Vivek
That was-
Gurung. Edith Edwards looking to show us her game. Great tackle again from Nadina Green. Strong in there. That's a beautiful ball through. And this is the chance that Barrow's been waiting for. Jade Barrow around the goalkeeper and gives the Navy the lead. Shot from range. Oh, what a goal!
What a goal.
We mentioned that Pip Wilson can do something from nothing.
Still the danger not cleared, and the RAF have it in the back of the net. Well, that was a really well taken goal by Lucy Farrow. All sorts of problems at the back for the Army defence there. They couldn't get the ball cleared, and it was Lucy Farrow who has opened the scoring here.
Hi, I'm Kyle Dixon, and this is In Case You Missed It. Sliding into the season, Royal Marine Commando Taylor Lawrence has opened his bobsleigh season at the IBSF World Cup in Altenburg, Germany. Lawrence partnered with Brad Hall in the two-man bobsleigh, where the pair finished fourth, with fellow Royal Marine Adam Baird finishing all the way down in 18th. Lawrence and Hall were later joined by Leon Greenwood and Greg Cackett in the four-man bobsleigh event, finishing 5th overall, with German rival Francesco Friedrich taking the gold in both events. In boxing, Royal Marine Commando George Crotty has won his first professional match on debut at the OVO Wembley Arena in London. Boxing in the Magnificent Seven boxing night, Marine Crotty made his bow against journeyman Dylan Courtney, where he dominated proceedings to win on a points decision. A former GB boxer, Crotty ended his amateur career to turn professional last month, where he received the backing of boxing manager Frank Warren under Queensbury Promotions. Ski, shoot and score. Army biathlete and Olympic hopeful Marcus Webb has got his season campaign underway in the Biathlon IBU Cup Series. The household cavalry soldier has already completed 2 rounds in Sweden and Norway after battling COVID, and is currently ranked 3rd best in the cup on the shooting range. He is expected to compete in his 3rd IBU Cup in Austria next week. 4 military teams have begun their journeys across the Atlantic in the 2024 World's Toughest Row. The race officially got underway on December the 11th, 24 hours ahead of schedule, a decision the organisers were forced to make due to weather conditions. The 4 teams started their 3,000-mile journey from La Gomera in the Canary Islands, where they hope to eventually reach English Harbour in Antigua. The RAF Storm Shadows have survived a scare to win the historic first ever Inter-Services Rocket League Championships. They came from behind to beat the RAF Sentinels in overtime in the last match of a thrilling final. 7 teams from across the 3 services competed for the trophy over 2 days at the National Esports Campus in Sunderland.
Well, I hope you can join us for our live coverage of that show jumping final, which will be a week tomorrow, week on Friday, and it's due to start at 5:25 in the afternoon, by the way, and it only lasts for just over half an hour, so we'll be live from around 5:20 as we've just announced there, but the action will be starting at 5:25. Back here in Holland, half-time, we're just waiting for the players to come out now for the second half, and Kath, well, that was a fascinating first half, of course, with 1 goal apiece. UKAF taking probably just about a deserved lead, and it was a typical Joe Spalding goal, wasn't it?
A typical Joe Spalding goal, but also now becoming very typical Greg Peel feed, and that man has so much strength and resilience as well. Just when you think he's lost the ball, he's still got it, and he comes out of a group of sort of 3 defenders, passes absolutely brilliant, and Spalding's speed on this ball was just incredible to get that one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he took it so well. But all credit to the Dutch, because they came straight back and they got an equaliser with Van Boxel. He did really, really well with that equaliser. The Dutch could quite easily have scored a second goal just after, so UKAF have to be really careful. And there were chances at both ends before those goals went in. Of course, very early doors, UKAF with, as you mentioned, Greg Peel hitting the post in just the opening moments of the first half, and that could have set us up, maybe for a hatful of goals for UKAF. That really might have just destroyed the spirits, really, of the Dutch team. But they came back into it as well, didn't they?
They did. I've been really impressed. I said that one word I used for them on Monday was clunky, and perhaps I was being a little unfair, but they just look a lot smoother, a lot cleaner today. Their passes are much more being played with much more finesse, and the goal that they scored came from, they'd done that 2 or 3 times already, and perhaps UKAF should have twigged onto the fact. Really lovely clean ball through the middle, fell right at the feet of the player who then went on to score. So yeah, as we see the Dutch players coming out now, I mean, they'll be absolutely champing at the bit, because they're playing at home, and we did say beware of the wounded soldier, and I think we've just seen evidence of that.
We certainly have. UKAF also coming out onto the pitch now. Just to remind you, by the way, the World Cup draw was made earlier on today, with England drawn in Group K against Serbia, Albania, Latvia and Andorra. I think that they'll be pretty happy about that. Thomas Tuchel, the manager, I'm sure will be delighted about that draw. Slightly more difficult to draw for Scotland in Group C. Portugal or Denmark, Greece and Belarus, they've been drawn against in Group C. Wales in Group J against Belgium, North Macedonia, Kazakhstan and Liechtenstein as well in Group J. And Northern Ireland, Germany or Italy, Slovakia or Luxembourg. So that's some interesting talking points there with those World Cup groups that were drawn earlier. But we're focusing very much, of course, on Europe's oldest football competition, the Kentish Cup here. The UKAF players just doing that last bit of limbering up on the pitch to get themselves ready. And
it doesn't look like there are any changes for the UKAF team, but we have seen one sub come on for the Dutch, and that is Job Koyer, and he has come on in shirt number 4. So that's one change for the Dutch forces, but at the moment UKAF are unchanged.
Yeah, Kuboran then for them, and it looks like Darryl White's just sticking with that 11 who have served him so well so far, not only in this Kentish Cup but also against the Irish Defence Force earlier on in the autumn over there in Belfast.
Yeah, I think it's a sort of habit. It becomes habit when you don't change it at half time, and then you fear if you do change it that something different's going to happen. So yes, he's stuck with the same 11 at the minute.
It's the Dutch to get us underway then in this second half, kicking from left to right as we look from the main stand here. in their traditional orange and black. UKAF back to their normal white shirts today. They were in red, of course, against the French on Wednesday in that 1-0 victory. And just to remind you of the statistics here, UKAF, a draw will be enough to retain the Kentish Cup, and a win obviously will absolutely guarantee it. The Dutch, if they were to win this match, then France, the French forces, will claim back the Kentish Cup that they lost last year. And if the Dutch were to win by 6 goals, then they will win the Kentish Cup. That's the basics of the maths. But I don't think we're going to be seeing a hatful of goals for the Dutch team today. Could well be wrong. But UKAF, obviously, they're playing to win here.
UKAF will be frustrated they let a goal in the first place. They love a clean sheet, and you know, they'll see that as a sort of bad mark against them.
Here's Bulk. Gets a cross in. It's well cleared eventually for UKAF. To Danny Kerr. And Elliot Holmes.
Lovely.
Nice 1-2. Takes the 1-2 with Peel. Here's Elliot Holmes still going. Looking for some support. Gets a cross in. It's cleared eventually by the defence though. But UKAF still have it. And here's Aaron Ayet on the edge of the box. Ball goes wide onto the right-hand side. And Joe Spalding. Cross comes into the hands of the goalkeeper, but that was good movement there from UKAF, getting themselves quickly back down to the business.
Yeah, lovely 1-2 here on the left wing, John. But yeah, we know they've got the skills, UKAF, to push in and get another couple of goals. But yeah, it's all about mindset with them, and I just hope they've come out with that same mindset that they did against the French, where it was 0-0 at half-time, and they come out and they're measured, they don't let it get to them, and just, you know, it's almost like going back to zero, isn't it? Going back to the start and starting all over again, as Holmes feeds it off to Vincent.
Yeah, nice work from him in midfield there. Elliot Holmes. And here's Gray. Danny Kerr, Elliot Holmes, and here's Greg Peel, shoots, oh, and it's just wide, it's taken a deflection, it took a deflection for a corner.
He gave himself a really good amount of time to think about that, Greg Peel, so I think, you know, he was on target, wasn't it? Took a slight deflection.
It was rather, the angle was a bit confusing here.
Yeah.
In fact, it hit the crossbar. It hit the crossbar and came back. Just look at the replay. Takes the shot, does Peel again. Good early pressure from UKAF in this opening moments of the second half. Drysdale gets the cross in. But we've seen how dangerous the Dutch are on the break here. Brodie Gray does really well there. That's a turn then from Joe Spalding, but the Dutch have it back, and there's a lot of space for them here on this side.
Oh,
but
lovely, Phil Bright picks it up.
Phil Bright picks it up. Elliot Holmes. And Bright again.
Oh.
But that ball only finds an orange shirt. Important challenge here for Big Jack to make. He does it really well. Phil Bright. Really good competitive game this, and it's great to see 3 competitive fixtures in this Kentish Cup. Brodie Gray looking to take the 1-2, which he does from Spalding. Ayet. And here's Danny Kerr. Ayet again. Looking for some space to get a shot in. Nice work from UKAF, just working the ball well inside the box.
Goalkeeper got to that. Yeah, Lansink really on the ball there, because there was a little bit of confusion, and UKAF shirts were coming through, but the Dutch have it.
It was a really good play then from UKAF on that right-hand side, working the ball superbly well.
The Dutch then, not such a high press as the UKAF team, but it has worked for them in this game so far. A reminder that we're 1-1 here.
And still playing a very high line. If you look where the UKAF defensive 4 are at the moment. They win it back here.
Vincent then.
Yeah. Ayat, a chance then for Holmes. Oh, and it just took a deflection again. Good defensive work from the Dutch, just taking the ball away from Elliot Holmes there. I thought he was going to lash that into the net then, Kath. But
yeah, he's. I mean, Holmes is only ever a second away from getting a strike. So
UKAF are knocking on the door here. Yeah. They really are. And Phil Bright will take the corner. He takes it quick. Here's Elliot Holmes again. Bright gets a really deep cross in. Goalkeeper has to make it, and does.
Aiming for Jack Wright's head there, but just a little bit too far for the Royal Navy man.
Yeah, Bright and Drysdale there, with Mark Drysdale charging back to position. Not bad for a 21-year-old.
So he says.
Really competitive start to this second half, and played in a great atmosphere, great spirit between these two teams. There's an awful lot of respect from the Dutch for the UKAF team, and indeed vice versa as well. We've got 2 balls on the pitch at the moment. Referee
never a good sign.
Carhard says get that second football off the pitch.
Suddenly 45 minutes doesn't seem like a very long time when you're 1-1 and with so much on the line, John.
Indeed, but UKAF have won the free kick. That that they're so composed at the moment, and I think everyone knows what they have to do. They all know their job.
Yeah, and
there's no confusion there. They're just going about their business in such a professional way at the moment.
Yeah.
So UKAF.
And that's been drilled into them, you see, over the last decade. Yeah. That measured performance. They're not looking for flair. They do sometimes get it, but they're not looking for it necessarily.
We haven't seen too much from the Dutch so far in this second half. Just seem content at the moment to absorb the UKAF pressure. We know how dangerous they are on the break. Nicely headed forward. Peel will chase that, and he will get it. No, it'll be the Dutch man who gets there first, but Greg Peel still challenging for it, and that is unfairly, says the referee. Well, that's a debatable one, but
it's in the far corner, John. I can claim that I did not see that very clearly. Cameraman Chris Giles says no, it wasn't fair.
But it remains 1-1, and 53 minutes played here in this Kentish Cup decider. UKAF working so hard at the moment, working away, and the Dutch have won another free kick. And it was Dave Vincent, a judge, to have committed the foul there. Here's Captain Beldreds back to his goalkeeper. Long clearance downfield, headed by Jack Wright, back into play. The Dutch, though, quickest off the mark for it. Just finding some space at the moment in this midfield area. UKAF got to be careful. Here's Aaron Ayat. And Phil Bright. Vincent across to his central defender. So Danny Kerr again. And Wright. Headed clear. And so UKAF keep the pressure on with a throw in here. Here's Aaron Ayat.
I wish we could get a stat on how often Aaron Ayat's had the ball over the last 2 games.
He has been phenomenal, you're quite right. That's a lovely ball through. Elliot Holmes can't quite control it. It's good defensive work then from the Dutch. But the pressure remains on them. Vincent to Bright. Bright gets a telling ball through. Here's Ayat. Surely it's going to be in, and it is. It's a second goal for UKAF. And finally, Greg Peel has scored.
Well done, the big man. And it was that man, Aaron Ayet. We just said how much he's on the ball, and this time he has contributed in the goal, in front of goal. Aaron Ayet feeding off a lovely control ball to Greg Peel, and this time the big army man got the ball in. 2-1 UKAF. Brilliant score, and just when they needed it, because they put all the pressure on, so they needed to win something at the end of that.
Well, you can't deny that UKAF haven't deserved that, because they have really come out here very strongly in the second half, and they've got themselves ahead once more. Really great work, a lovely low cross that came in from Phil Bright, which set up Aaron Ayet, and it was the simplest of goals really for Greg Peel, and he has deserved that goal. He's worked so hard at all ends of the pitch so far in the Kentish Cup, and he's got his goal, and UKAF will really now want to cement this.
And they're back here again, John. They're back up the front.
Kerr gets the ball across, and it goes out for another corner.
Now, in that goal, that the feed in from Phil Bright actually hit a Dutch player who played it forward, and well, backwards in his world, but forwards, and that's what Aaron Ayet jumped on. So unfortunately, it was a little bit of a Dutch mistake, but worked in UKAF's favour.
And of course, that, if there's any doubt about offside, that would have played them on anyway.
Yes.
Elliot Holmes. So he could do with a goal, couldn't he?
He'd love a goal.
Challenging once more. UKAF really putting the pressure on now. They'll want this third goal to really give them a little bit of clear white air between them and their Dutch opponents. But they lead 2-1 here. They've got one hand on the Kentish Cup. Phil Bright again. Really measured performance so far in this second half. Didn't let the equaliser get them down or deflect away from the job in hand. And that's great management that's done that.
Well, I know, John, that our socials team have done a really good job of turning around some half-time chat from the UKAF dressing room. Sorry, as Ayek again gets the ball down on the right wing. And they've turned around that half-time. So if anyone wants to see it, look on the Forces News socials, and you'll see a really great half-time chat from Ginge White, which brought about the win against the French forces.
And here's Elliot Holmes on the edge of the box, looking for some support, gets the crossover, looking for Danny Kerr. Pressure not over yet though. Joe Spalding. And back to Gray. And Ayet tries to get the shot in. Brodie Gray now leaves it. Danny Kerr again. UKAF just sensing that they can get this third goal now. It'll maybe put this game beyond the Dutch even at this stage, but we know how dangerous they are on the break.
And
they have a chance here again. But that will be collected by Hugh Know Who.
Yeah,
Aaron Ayet again. And here's Elliot Holmes. Plays it wide to Brights, gets the low cross in. Chance then for a third, and it's brilliantly saved by the goalkeeper.
Great save. Spalding nearly in for a second there, John, but
I thought that was going to fly into the back of the net.
That was a brilliant reaction save from Lansink.
Yeah, he's made a couple of great saves, and that really has just kept maybe the Dutch in the game.
Wow.
Drysdale with the headed clearance. The referee said that was unfair. There was a push. So he's going to give that to the Dutch here. Just looking a little bit misty around the stadium here. I think we may have a bit of a
I think it's mizzle, John.
Mizzle.
That mizzle where it's not quite drizzle, but it's mist and drizzle.
Well,
therefore known as mizzle.
It's a chilly old December day in Holland, that's for sure.
Pepperkamp then for the Dutch.
Had a bit of space and gets the shot in.
Wow.
Hits the side netting in the end, but once again just showing that this Dutch side, there's some danger there.
Certainly not showing any signs of fatigue yet, John. That
was Van Boxall again, Milan Van Boxall, who got the equaliser for them in the first half.
But it was the feed from Pepperkamp in the middle that made that absolutely spot on. Ayet then playing back to his defensive line. Drysdale to right and onto Bright and back to right.
One thing I just love about this, Aaron Ayet, of course, is he's a commissioned officer, and you know, such a great level of this sport, isn't it? You can have all sorts of players, no ranks involved at all. Here's Danny Kerr, leading physical trainer, of course, in the Royal Navy, and the Navy's Sportsman of the Year as well, we should say.
And of course, he'll go forward to the UKAF Sports Awards, which are being held April next year, John. Yeah, and all the best from each service. Go forward to those events to win the top prize.
UKAF are going to make a change very shortly. The man wearing number 20, I think, is going to be coming on soon, Kath.
That's Mike Campbell.
Yeah, Mike Campbell. He's wearing 20 today, not 18. Phil Bright. That's a challenging ball that even Aaron Hyatt can't quite reach. And I think we are going to have that change now. Michael Campbell is going to be coming on. And who's he going to be replacing?
Yeah, so Cammy was a replacement on Wednesday as well. So
2 changes by the looks as well for UKAF.
Okay, so Sean Powell, birthday boy's coming on.
Yeah, Sean is 26 years old today, so this will be quite a birthday present. He's come on.
For Elliot Holmes, he's come on.
And Elliot's really annoyed, actually. You could just see he's cross because he really wanted a goal, didn't he? And the man who's come off again as well is an extraordinary player. Yeah, Greg Peel has given absolutely 100%, both of those players today.
I can understand Holmes' frustration, but he isn't always just about the goal scoring. You know, he's played such a crucial role, and his speed and everything has played such a crucial role. And all those chances that he did get, that plays into the mind of the opposition. So he shouldn't be annoyed, but I know that's easy for us to say.
He'll be fuming because he would have wanted to play the whole 90 minutes. But we're just over the hour here, gone. Still, and it's 2-1 to UK Armed Forces. Trying to hold on to this Kentish Cup. Cross comes in. Campbell's on the end of it. Eventually cleared by the Dutch defence, but only as far
as Danny
Kerr. And again, it's Aaron Hyatt who chases everything and wins it, but and he's just let it go out of play. But such complete dedication to this job today from Aaron Hyatt. And over the course of the 2 games, Kath, you know, if you were looking for a player of the tournament so far, you wouldn't have to look too much further than Aaron Hyatt.
Yeah, I just think for the sheer volume, the amount of times we've said his name, it just shows how central he's been to the 2 games.
Here, there, and absolutely everywhere.
And Michael Campbell straight into the action, as he tends to be. He's only just come on. Him and Sean Powell already got a touch of the ball, so that's good for them. Yeah,
Sean Powell will be desperate to make a contribution here.
Brighty,
bit of work on them for Phil Bright. Again, great defensive work from him. As UKAF bring it clear with Big Jack, Danny Kerr and Mark Drysdale. Makes the challenge, but the Dutch have got it here and they've got an opportunity. Straight into the hands, though, of Loz McCormick.
Paula Bright-Hill, she's still watching, says, fabulous play, lads, well done, my boy Brighty. And I think that'll be because he gave such a lovely ball in that led to that second goal. And John Douglas says, woo woo, go on UKAF, come get another 2 in.
Look at Campbell, great work from him on that far side of the field there, wins the free kick. I'll tell you what, you know,
he's such a veteran campaigner now, Cammy. Just feels like he's definitely been around for RAF football and UKAF football as long as I've been involved, and yeah, had some absolutely stunning wins in his time.
Phil Bright's going to go from his left full-back position to take this free kick on the right-hand side. An in-swinger. He'll swing this in with his left foot here. And it's a good one. A few people going up for it, but eventually the Dutch will clear their lines, but only temporarily, because it's then going to be a throw into UKAF.
Yeah, Sean Powell and Cammy and Michael Campbell, as I mentioned, straight into the action here as the first 2 subs that have been made. As we see the familiar back 3.
Yeah, Jack Wright to Phil Bright. And here's Powell. And that's a lovely ball, cross field. Great work from UKAF, just using the all the space that's available to them across this pitch now. The Dutch being pulled in all directions at the moment. Some lovely control, lovely controlled football here from UKAF. And here's Wright, crosses the halfway line.
Great ball to Powell here.
Powell. Again, puts the cross in, aim for Campbell. In fact, it was, in the end, it was aimed for Dave Vincent, who headed it over the bar. But some lovely play here from UKAF, controlled football. The sort of football we might have expected to see from the Dutch a few years ago in the era of total football.
Yeah, and the Dutch haven't done much wrong, to be honest, John, and they definitely look stronger than UKAF at the end of that first half. They were buoyed by their goal, but of course UKAF have come back and scored another one, and that will have been playing on their minds.
Well, they've dominated this second half so far, UKAF, with their control of the ball and control of the game. But you know, it only takes a couple of moments for a mistake, and suddenly things can change. But Phil Bright doing really well. Campbell trying to get in there. It's actually Danny Kerr trying to get in there. But the ball back with the Dutch and back with their goalkeeper.
Yeah, lovely control there from Phil Bright. Just as you were talking about it, John, a perfect example of what UKAF are capable of.
Thanks to all of you who are watching and sending in your messages from all around the world. Tuning in to see whether UKAF can win this Kentish Cup once more.
Well, this is a lovely message, I think, from Daryl White's other half. Lily supporting her dad and UKAF before she heads off skiing. She said she wants to see the Kentish by the Christmas tree again this year when she gets home.
So that's where it'll be going then, if it does eventually end back in the UK. Maybe they just spreads around, do they? Around the whole team, they should do.
I feel like it's kept under lock and key.
I'm sure it is somewhere. Maybe they're doing replicas now. Drysdale. Out to Brodie Gray. UKAF just building patiently here. And Bright. Lots to aim for. Drysdale brings it forward. Cross comes in from the substitutes.
Do you know something that Hellsbells does, John, when the team gets together in camp, and especially when it's something big like this coming out to Holland, or when they went out to Belfast for the Irish Defence Forces, she prints off a picture of all their loved ones and leaves it by their bed wherever they are in camp, so that they that's what they wake up to and go to bed to at night, and you know, one of the reasons why they're out here.
It's a nice touch. And talking of nice touches on the ball, that wasn't bad either, was it? Ball goes across then to Powell. Phil Bright. Right, it's back to Bright again. Taking the 1-2. All running for each other into space all the time. Powell. Loses out. Touch win it back, but only temporarily.
From Vincent.
Vincent again. Spreads the ball wide onto that right-hand side. Spalding.
Ooh.
Takes a shot, but nothing to trouble the goalkeeper there.
I think Brodie Gray was saying, I was on your right, mate, I was on your right.
I'm sure that Daryl White would just want another goal here.
Yeah.
Just to sort of settle them down a bit.
We talk about cushions, don't we? But also as a sort of reflection of how they're playing too.
Remember, a draw will be enough, but they would love to win this and just add to their record. As I mentioned before the game, it's 9 years since UKAF lost a Kentish Cup game.
Oh, Cammy, lovely ball through.
And here's Kerr chasing it. And he'll win the throw. Quickly taken. Ayat again. Patient build-up then from UKAF here. Here's Gray. And Spalding. And Gray once more. This is good possession football from UKAF. Right. That's a brilliant ball through. And very unlucky really was Powell there. Controlled the ball really well. It just slipped away from him at the end. But here's Aaron Ayat. Approaching the box. He's got Brody Gray outside him. But it's intercepted and it'll be no more than a throw-in for UKAF. But again, they're knocking on the door, Kath, here. UKAF, they're knocking on the door and looking for this third goal, which at this stage in the game you would have to say would be enough for UKAF. You cannot see the Dutch scoring 3 goals, which they would need to do.
It's dangerous.
They would need to score 3.
Message from Scott Wright says, come on UKAF, keep that defence tight, Jack.
Campbell! Oh, did so well there. He was challenged by 2 players that just lost out in the end. Mike Campbell, you can never write him off, as you said.
Not at all. Just to finish that message, that Scott Wright, yeah, your dad's watching at work. Don't tell anyone though. Well, I've kind of told him now. Sorry, Scott. But message from your dad, Jack, watching at work. Hopefully with headphones on, or at least the volume down, so no one knows.
UKAF lead 2-1. We played for 72 minutes here. So just around about 12 minutes to go. Aaron Ayat wins the ball really well. Still going. And here's Campbell, gets the shot in. Oh, and it's just wide. Well, that was so close, and it was a great effort from Campbell there.
God, there's been so many of them, John.
There's an injury to one of the Dutch players as well, down on the pitch. And it looks like the man who is injured is Milan van Boxel, who scored their goal. He gets to his feet eventually. But Campbell had a chance there, and it was...
I think he got injured reaching for the ball that I sort of came for. But there were some substitutions here. Yep. You've got Evni Valansan from, I probably didn't say that right.
Hoekstra has gone off.
For the Dutch, yes. Hoekstra has gone off. Got number 17 come on. But Van Boxel stays on. I think he's stretched out that leg that was giving him a bit of jip.
Plenty of space for the Dutch here though, but again Phil Bright cuts out the danger. Challenge going on. UKAF having to struggle here. Goalkeeper though is more than equal to it. And Aaron Ayat, who must have run halfway around the world in this in this match so far.
Could have run home.
He could have run all the way home and still have tread to spare.
Lovely ball.
That's a great ball through. Powell goes in there, but I think he was offside. There was an offside flag gone up.
That's quite a late flag.
Sorry, we're just having a bit of a laugh in the stands here. There's a shout of, "Are you all right?"
Came from Lewis Brownhill to the linesman, so frustration getting to the bench, but not so much to the players.
And of course, it is Hugh Morphell who's on running the line that side.
Yeah, so they'll have words later, I'm sure.
Great header from Jack Wright, relieving the danger. The Dutch, though, still trying to make their contributions to this game, but I wouldn't mind seeing the possession stats from this so far. It must be getting on towards 70% for UKAF.
But worryingly, the one sort of bit of possession the Dutch did have, and they got the ball nearly in the goal. So do not.
Oh, great work,
Brody Gray.
Oh, Brody Gray, and
Campbell
skies it. That would have been a good rugby score, I think.
Good drop goal.
It remains 2-1. We have a quarter of an hour left in this Kentish Cup 2024.
I'm no football expert, but I think if Mike Campbell had played through that ball a little bit, he sort of stopped on it. And
he lifted his head slightly, and that's why the ball went high into the trees behind. Diffan Pearce is watching. Good afternoon to you, Diffan. Great to have you with us today. And no doubt a very proud man at seeing your UKAF team doing so well once more. Really opening up this match now. Maybe a bit too open for the liking of Darryl White, but well, that was certainly a foul. An unfair challenge there on Dave Vincent. And the referee will bring that back, and there's going to be another change happening once more. And it looks like
Liam Smith's coming on from the RAF.
And who is going off? I just wonder who.
I think Spalding's coming over.
Looks like Joe Spalding is being withdrawn, who's had a terrific game for UKAF. And of course, he got to the opening goal for them to put UKAF in the driving seat here. Well embraced by his head coach and by the coaching team. Nicely controlled. Here's Kurt. Powell just missing out there. The Dutch have it back. Ayat back to Powell. Late challenge, referee allows play to go on. Ayat again does really well, and yeah, Powell took a real knock there. He's not got up just yet. That's Sean Powell.
Isn't it bad luck if you hurt someone on their birthday, John?
Well, what for the team that's committed the foul? You mean?
Yeah, he's up and about. That's good to see.
Temperature dropping by the minute here, but temperature's very high as far as the UKAF team is concerned at the moment. Just wanting to keep this momentum going. They can shoot. They can feel the presence of that famous old trophy, I'm sure, but still some work to do.
Both sides.
Great header from Drysdale there. But the Dutch, you still feel they've got something left in them.
Absolutely, they've not shown any signs of the fatigue that we saw on Monday, so definitely a side change from that 5-0 hammering.
As you would expect.
Of
There's
course.
a lot of pride at stake here from this Dutch team, particularly being the hosts here. Right, with a lovely ball, flicked forward by Danny Kerr, hoping to find Sean Powell, but it doesn't reach its intended target.
A great ground here as well. I can see some of the youths, I want to say youngsters, sort of playing on the grass pitch next door, and a lot of locals have come out to watch as well. They were enjoying a few beers in the bar earlier, so yeah, good to see local support.
It is good to see. Dutch, though, with a chance then to break on this left-hand side. Nicely controlled by Jack Wright there into the hands of his goalkeeper. And Loz McCormick just slowing it down. Intelligent play from UKAF here. They're not driving it and leaving themselves open at the back. It keeps the ball in play. Does really well.
Fantastic.
But has he? No, it
went out of play.
Yeah. I mean, how many sort of these wheat biscuits? I can't really say. Well, I could say Weetabix. How many Weetabix do you think he had this morning?
Aaron Ayat?
Yeah.
I should think he's more likely to have had eggs and bacon, to be honest.
Probably shredded wheat, actually. You know.
I want to see what his step count is. Absolutely everywhere.
More changes being made by the Dutch here. A couple of substitutions coming off for them. Numbers 25 and also number 23.
Bob Leemans and Dylan Pepperkamp coming off.
Yeah. Melvin Aronson has come on, number 14. Noticed him.
And I think number 7, Dirk Jan Heistra.
So see what those changes can do for the hosts. And we have 10 minutes to get themselves 2 goals to win this game. And at the moment, UKAF are looking good, but we don't count our chickens. And that's the sort of clearance that you really want to see at this stage in the game.
Another ball coming on from fourth official. Yeah, I mean it's a matter of pride really for the Dutch to. They've not been that strong in the last decade of this competition. It's very much been about the UK Armed Forces and the French, but you know they've got every right to be here, and they when they challenge a side like this, their right to remain is there as well.
But the friendship that exists as well is really important as well. We should, this is very much a competition of friendship between post-war allies, and the Dutch, are such great hosts here, looked after us really well, and they really enjoy this competition. They would love to be more competitive, but the days of the Dutch National Service, when you had star players actually starring for the Dutch military team, are long gone, and so they haven't got the pool of talent that they once could call on, which and for a while the Dutch were very much a dominant force in this competition. But here they are on the edge of the box. UKAF with some defending to do here. What a great challenge from Mike Campbell that was. And Danny Kerr brings it. It's Ayer brings it away. And this is Campbell now on the ball, just holding it up well. No flag as Brodie Gray hares down that right hand side. The Dutch though clear up the damage.
It doesn't feel as tense as the 1-0 on Wednesday, because it was about this time that the last 10 minutes of the game we were concerned that the French might score, but UKAF showed a really measured approach and kept their heads, which they've certainly done here as well with the 2-1
Bright
lead.
again had a terrific game as Phil Bright this afternoon. Ayat, who's been magnificent.
Jack Wright then feeding back to McCormick. And I think he'll be frustrated by the goal that was let in, but
not a lot he could do about it, really.
I think it's just a mark of how improved the Dutch side are today. As Ayat feeds out to Brodie Gray, an ever presence there.
And Liam Smith has done well since he came on. Ayat. Shot comes in, great save for the goalkeeper. And that was Dave Vincent again. More changes to be made, and this is a really couple of big changes now for UKAF. They're bringing on Salby, and also it looks like Feeney's going to be coming on as well. Phil Bright again, great defensive work from him. The UKAF just got to be careful here. Oh. Lots of strength from the Dutch, and they're not afraid to bring men forward. Changes then being made. So Kieran Feeney, who is wearing number 19, is coming on, and so is Jordan Salby, another RAF officer, air traffic controller.
Feeney, of course, part of the Royal Navy Inter-Services running side.
And the players coming off, well, Dave Vincent has put in a terrific performance today. He's coming off, and also coming off as well is Brodie Gray. Terrific again, every single one of these players. There's not a lot coming off that pitch that hasn't been left out there, and they've done really well.
I know, and we saw a little bit of all these subs that have come on. We saw a little bit of Feeney and Salby play on Wednesday as well, and it's well deserved that they get to come on for the last 5 minutes or so. See what they can do. The Dutch throw-in.
Danny Kerr, who you can guarantee won't be coming off at all.
Feeney with the ball straight away.
Yeah. And there's Jack Wright and Phil Bright. Oh, that's beautiful stuff. Nicely done. And Campbell just trying to put his left ball back through there. UKAF still challenging hard for every ball here into the last 5 minutes of this Kentish Cup tie. UK Armed Forces leading the Dutch by 2-1. A draw is enough for them to retain the cup. They'll want to win this. Of course they will. Aaron Ayat, outstanding for me today.
Oh, lovely ball. Oh, Sean-Paul Powell couldn't quite get on that, but great feed again from Phil Bright.
Yeah. They win the throw. Phil Bright again has been outstanding. There's been some really great performances today. Aaron Ayat. If we had to name a player of the tournament, Aaron Ayat would certainly be my choice, I think.
It's a good call, John.
But his contribution has been absolutely outstanding for this team. But it's all about the team game, of course, and I've never really been a huge fan of players of the tournament, to be honest. But
well, yeah, traditionally, I don't. We will see a presentation at the end of this match, a presentation of the Kentish Cup. But also, it could well be that they pick their own man of the tournament or man of the match. So we'll see what they come up with.
Yeah, well, Powell just offside there, just launched into an offside position. Just 3 minutes to go here, plus whatever stoppage time referee Monsieur Kahar adds to the game. I thought it was my glasses were steaming up, but it is actually getting a little bit misty here.
It is misty.
Powell, not lovely touch.
Lovely touch.
Here's Danny Kerr, just trying to put Smith through there, but it doesn't work. And the Dutch have it back. Dutch just trying to find their way through this mountain of UKAF players. Did well there, did Heidestrand, and goalkeeper comes out,
Great,
makes a save. Well done.
Strong.
Well done, Los McCormick again.
Dick Lawty agrees with you, John. Azza Ayat just outstanding today, and yes, I think we're all in agreement there, Dick.
Oh, lovely touch from Campbell, but can he chase the loose ball? No, he can't. Goalkeeper gets there first, but been some lovely touches from these players. Drysdale does well. Ayat again does well, challenging for everything. And Jack Wright assuredly heads back to his goalkeeper. And surely now, with just a couple of minutes to go, plus stoppage time, UKAF are going to retain this Kentish Cup. This is what they came here for, of course. Leading here by 2-1.
Dutch trying to put pressure on McCormick, and he was having none of it at the back there. He's just gone straight to the other end. Bjorn Lansing in the Dutch goal.
Two of them go for the same ball, and the referee said that was an unfair challenge by
Salby,
Smith.
I think.
Was it Salby?
Yeah, 14.
So
it's a bit of pushing and shoving, I think, John. That's all that was.
There were two UKAF players going for the same ball, and I think they ended up outnumbering the Netherlands
They nearly
player.
took each other out.
They did. Three-man wall just being marshalled by Los McCormick, just coming back again. The ball is surely going to go aimed at some of their big players, but it's headed clear
defense.
brilliantly by UKAF.
Well done, Powell.
Powell gets it clear. Danger not over yet, though.
Oh, lovely.
And that will be a throw to the Dutch. They'll keep the pressure on here. We are into the last moments of this game as we head towards stoppage time here. Whatever time the referee wants to add on is now going to happen. UKAF leading by 2-1. Can they hold their line, hold their nerve?
So we've been given 4 minutes of stoppage time, John, so
Okay.
that starts now.
Yeah, the 4 minutes is underway. Plus, that's minimum, of course. And the Dutch just making that challenge. I know you're going to be dashing down onto the pitch side quite soon, Kath.
Oh, I'll be dashing, John, yes.
Absolutely dashing, as you always are, of course.
I love to be there for the reaction, so yes, I shall be disappearing off comms, but John, of course, remember we've got presentation and things, so John will take you through all of that as we stay with this team, which looks like at the moment that it could be definitely a UKAF Kentish Cup win again.
Well, I don't think there's much doubt about that now. We are now, just over a minute of this 4 to be added on here. But UKAF just being very measured in their performance. It's been since they scored the second goal, they have really played so well. They've managed the game brilliantly and look like it's going to be theirs. Campbell, though, just holding on to the ball now, taking it into the corner. Throw in, though, goes to the Dutch. They're showing some signs of wanting to push forward, but Campbell has it on the edge of the box. Oh, if only he'd just been able to grab hold of that and get a decent strike on it, we might just have had another goal for UKAF. But it's the Dutch who are just pushing their way forward, cleared eventually by Salby. Halfway through this stoppage time. I think we're a bit more nervous up here than everyone is down on the pitch, but it's that sort of squeaky bums time at the moment, and we're just hoping that from a UKAF point of view now that they can hold on to this and retain the Kentish Cup once more. Might be cold out there, but there's some warm glows kicking around at the moment. Warm hearts from the UKAF team. Dutch, though, with the throw. And they're anxious to take it quickly. Straight out of play. Not what they needed at all at this stage. And UKAF will not be any great hurry to take this throw in, as you could imagine. It'll be down to Smith to take it. Down the pitch. Referee says that's a free kick, and it's a free kick to UKAF as well, which is exactly what they want at this stage. UKAF 2, the Dutch Armed Forces 1. Free kick taken very quickly. Here's Campbell. Just game management now. Dutch have the throw. Closing moments of this game. Aaron Ayers. A hefty challenge there. It's almost like he's just come on the pitch. We're taken by their goalkeeper then. Who's not? He's made a couple of good saves as Lansing today. Takes that, floats that in. Danny Kerr on the edge. Kerr brings it forward, and now a chance for Aaron Ayers to chase it. So much running in him today. Lansing then with a hopeful long ball. It's headed clear, eventually up into the sky by the UKAF team. Picked up by the Dutch. Far side of the field. Just need to hold out now, UKAF. And Danny Kerr wins it back. And that is the final whistle. And it's a victory for UKAF. They have won the Kentish Cup here in terrific style. a magnificent performance from them. We are going to have the presentation in the end. This is Lieutenant Colonel Jan Mara, who is the head of Dutch military sport, who is just saying a few words at the moment, and that famous old trophy is coming out onto the pitch. And we're going to hopefully get some reaction just before the presentations are made. But great times, great moments for UKAF here. A superb performance from them, says Dick Lorty. The Kentish Cup returns to its rightful home. Outstanding effort all. And I'm sure they're going to be looking forward to a great night of celebration here in Holland. The Dutch made it a really good game, though. Let's make no mistake about that. After they suffered a 5-0 hammering on Monday to the French. Heads could have dropped, but they certainly didn't. And they can hold their heads high after a really good performance from them today, pulling the game back obviously from being a goal down to level it before half-time. But it was Greg Peel who deservedly got the second goal for the UK Armed Forces. Players absolutely delighted, of course, with what they've achieved here today, not only in this match but in that historic victory really against the French team as well, who came here very, very hopeful they could claim the Kentish Cup back. But it's going back to the UK as well, and I wonder whose Christmas tree it will be sat under on Christmas Day. I think they're very quickly getting the presentations underway, and we hope that you can stay just on to see the Let's have a look at those two goals then, because it was Spalding who opened the scoring for UKAF after 30 minutes, after a period of domination in play really, and it was great work from Joe Spalding, and he got that first goal, and then the equaliser obviously coming in for the Dutch to bring it back level at half time, before UKAF then got to the deserved second goal. And it was, say, great work from UKAF with a well-worked low cross coming in from Phil Bright, and then on the end of it, eventually, after again some excellent work from Aaron Ayatt, was the big number 9 for UKAF, for them, with Greg Peel slotting the ball in.
Firstly, thank you to our Dutch hosts for laying on such a fabulous week of hosting us so immaculately. I know the players have all appreciated how much effort and time you put into looking after us. Secondly, thank you to the officials. We can never have a game of football if we don't have officials to make it run properly. So thank you very much for giving up your time to come and do this week. And finally, thank you to the players, because for all of us, this is a secondary duty. We're all military people by nature. We all give up our own time to be able to train and then come and compete and be able to share the camaraderie that sport brings. So I'm very grateful for all the efforts that you do, and then you come and compete and show of your best. And I think we'd all agree throughout the week there's been some fantastic football. It's been close, but I'm delighted to say, from a parochial perspective, that I'm delighted that UKAF managed to come out on top. So I think we're now going to present the trophy.
Brigadier Lee Drummond there, the chairman of UKAF football, as the trophy is now going to be presented to Danny Kerr, the winning captain. Another very proud moment for him as he steps forward now to receive the Kentish Cup from Brigadier Drummond. Proud day for everyone, and congratulations to UKAF. Warm applause from the other two teams. And UKAF celebrates in the way you would expect, because they are the Kentish Cup champions for 2024. Happy, happy days for them. Great performance across the two games, and this 2-1 victory, hard-earned victory today. There'll be a lot of players maybe who won't be seeing the Kentish Cup for too much longer, but maybe bringing their careers to an end. So these are historic days, and we can safely say now that UKAF have now gone 9 years without losing a Kentish Cup tie. The year that they lost the Kentish Cup to the French was actually a draw. They drew their second match with the French having outscored the Dutch against Great Britain in their 2 games, and that's the reason why UKAF did not claim back the Kentish Cup back in 2021, but they won it again in 2022 rather. In 2021 it was of course not happening because of COVID, and hopefully we'll get some reaction very, very shortly from from UKAF. And I think it's Mark Drysdale is standing by very shortly with Kath Brazier, and of course Ginge White as well. Let's go and talk, shall we, to some of the victorious players who are now with Kath Brazier.
Okay, well, I'm here with Coach Darryl White and the 2 vice captains. We've got Mark Drysdale and Phil Bright. Guys, I know you must be delighted, but that was quite a tough outing there. Expecting that, were you, Mark?
Not really. I guess we made hard work of it, but there's a belief in this team. That's from the players, the staff, the way we play football. There's a massive belief. We knew we would win the game. We had to be patient. Sometimes we try to force the ball a little bit, but that's just a game of football. We got the win, we retain the trophy, and we go again, ready for next year.
And the 2 of you are part of that back 4, which has been so strong for UKAF over the years. And I think particularly today you showed real. I know you'll be annoyed that goal went in, but you have been so solid. And Brighty, you're coming forward, and the high press you play has really impressed as well.
Yeah, we came out with a target. We wanted to retain the Kentish. We set other targets in that. We wanted to win both games, and we said we wanted to keep 2 clean sheets. So we didn't do the last one, but we did the main one and kept the Kentish. I thought we were really good. Once we went 2-1 up, it was just about staying narrow and tight. We knew about their threat in behind. Caught us out a few times in the first half, but in the end, I thought we controlled it really well and we looked comfortable. And
a few words from you, Darryl. I know that you're so proud, whatever these boys do, but you have got a record to keep up. You know, this last 10 years have been brilliant for UKAF, and you've always been part of that. So this must be like the icing on the cake, I guess.
Yeah, but it's all about the players. They're outstanding. Keep telling them that I love them, which is probably a bit awkward, but no, they've been brilliant. Again, we knew today would be tough. We kept, reiterating the messages, and they dug in, which we knew they had to do, and yeah, they got the result, and that's the important thing.
And can I just quickly come back to you, Mark, because every single player I think who came on, even the subs who sort of got 10 minutes over the 2 games. Any names that sort of fly out to you? For us, Aaron Ayek, I think we talked about him every second of the game. He is absolutely everywhere. Greg Peel has been outstanding for UKAF. Obviously, your captain, Danny Kerr. I mean, I don't want you really to name individuals, but just say how proud you are of every single person in that team.
Proud of every single player. I've been here a while, but there's new players who come into the group and they just keep on surpassing everyone else. We believe we're the best team, the best UKAF team. We just need to keep proving it, and results like today, the Irish, keeping clean sheets, that just sort of proves it in our heads.
And I know that Ginger said it's all about the players, Brighty, but so much about the staff as well, because that just keeps, I talked about the measured game, the fact that they keep your heads in the game as well, and that's really up to the staff as well.
They give us everything. Behind the scenes, it all goes unnoticed, but they give us all the building blocks, and we just have to go and do the job. When we step out, we know exactly what we have to do in every scenario that we're given, because of the work that goes on behind the scenes by not just the gaffer, by the staff, by Hells, everyone.
And one final word from you, the gaffer. I know you're proud, and I know that your time may be coming to an end here with UKAF, but it's a really proud moment, and I hope that now that what you've put in place over the last 10 years will continue, because it's really good to see a good performing UKAF team.
Yeah, so obviously this is my last one. For me it's just, as Nick would say, it's the legacy that lives on, so whoever comes in, what foundations, what players that we have, you know, if you look at the squad that we've got here, there's also people missing. I think military football's never been so good. So yeah, and I just hope like the success keeps continuing, and it should with the players that we have.
Well, listen, Ginge, Brighty and Mark, thank you so much. Go and celebrate with your team. You've done really well. Oh, you want to say something else?
We love the gaffer as well.
Of course you do. We know that. Congratulations.
So let the celebrations begin then. Congratulations to UKAF. Some great reactions there, of course, as you would expect. And that is it from our coverage here of the 2024 Kentish Cup. From all of us here, myself, John Knighton, Kath Brazier, and our team here of Chris and Scott, and our team back in the UK as well, who brought this together. Hope that you've enjoyed our coverage from the 2024 Kentish Cup. But from all of us here, it's a very good afternoon. And don't forget, we've got live coverage of the show jumping final next Friday, live here on Forces News YouTube, and also on our Facebook page as well. But from all of us, it's a very good afternoon to you, and congratulations to UKAF, who have won the 2024 Kentish Cup.